Yeah, it goes late nights on the road. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Yeah, that's just how it goes these days. I'ma try my best to make this flight, but if I don't wake up tomorrow, then the sun will still be. Yeah, it goes late.
Yo, it's your boy, the Ocean Flight 111, heading straight to full potential with zero delays. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of One Step at a Time. As you can see, we got some background. For those of you still in audio, I have decided to move to the video. The plan was always to move to video after 5, so I'm bringing that to fruition. Guys, hope everyone's keeping well. Filming this on a lovely peaceful day outside. The sun is about to set. Sun is about to take a nap for a little while. Had a really good day today. Damn, had a really good day. I jogged about 4.5 miles, did a little gym session, saunaed, steam room, didn't cold plunge just because, I don't know, I felt like my body didn't need that today. But didn't cold plunge, but overall just had a lovely jog back. Went for a coffee, should I say. And really relaxed, just sat down. It was pretty cool, but I just sat down outside and took all my surroundings in, and just feeling very blessed and one with gratitude, as I always try. So yeah, that's kind of how my day has been. I guess today's episode is pretty close to my heart. Today's episode is entitled Chasing a Dream. Wowzers! Hey, that's a pretty big statement. Chasing a dream, yes it is. So yeah, chasing a dream. What does chasing a dream entail? What do you achieve from chasing a dream? I guess when it comes to dreams, everybody has a dream of some sorts. Be it they choose to vocalize that, or they choose not to vocalize it, or they choose to tell people, don't tell people. I'm a big believer there. Everybody has a dream, be it big or small, should I say, that they'd love to bring to fruition and love to achieve one day. And for whatever reasons, sometimes obstacles get in the way and it stops them from making action or movement, or maybe they do and it doesn't go the way they wanted it to go. So I guess I'm a person that always had a lot of dreams since day one. I guess my imagination comes into plays a huge part, a really substantial part in my imagination. Like since I was a kid, the KID, the inner child, whoop, am I right? Anyways, we'll keep moving. So since I was a kid, I always had dreams and aspirations, and a big part of that is my imagination. So when I was younger, one of my dreams was to play football, like for Chelsea, or play football professionally or whatnot. And I guess one of the biggest things I learned from that, while I took a different path in life, is visualization. So I didn't realize it, but I'd been practicing visualization. Well, we all practice visualization. When we look at the window and we daydream, we visualize and we go into this other sphere, be it positive or be it negative. We're visualizing. Someone just came along, give it a lovely buzzword called visualization. So when I was a kid, I would go out into, like many kids do, go out into my lawn or whatever and visualize I'm playing for whatever club. And to do that, I would think, oh, what age am I in? What do I look like? I had long hair or a man bun, so shout out me for getting that long hair and man bun. Anyhow, I would visualize what I looked like, how I sounded, how I would do news reports or interviews, like press conferences, and I would visualize what I achieved in my career. Like by 21, I'd be playing for AC Milan or doing all this, which is fucking hilarious when you compare and contrast the ebbs and flows of my life and where my journey has taken me compared to, like, geez, if I was to have followed my plan I had when I was like 10 for football, I'd be like a 4-time World Cup winner now with Ireland. So being a World Cup winner is one thing, but damn, doing it with Ireland, but then again, you never know, as Mikey Mike would say. Shout out Mike and all the gang, you never know. So from early, I would have practiced visualization just like anyone does, but I guess I came more conscious of it when I would have started doing music. And again, very blessed that music found me at such a young age and brought me on this beautiful journey that we're going to get into now. So that was kind of my visualization, and really was really impactful because it taught me many things unknowingly, almost subconsciously. I was learning as a kid of visualizing. Now again, it didn't come into fruition what I was visualizing then, but this skill that I picked up as a youngin', and as so many people do, I would say most people do, they just don't realize they do, I would use that in the future. So 14, 15, I start doing music, and boom, the dream of music. And wowzers, was I in for a roller coaster. I need to get some sounds there. Pew, 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 pew. Wowzers, I was in for a roller coaster. When I remember when I first started music, I thought, damn, all I need to do is write 100 songs. And if I write 100 songs, then boom, I've done it. I've accomplished it. I've become an artist or a rapper, famous rapper. I'm about how many deep now? I'd say I'm about 600-700 deep songs ever written. Maybe 1,000, I don't know. It's over the span of 10 years or whatever. That I'm about 8x that, so that's when I began. And when I began music, I guess my perception of what it was has shifted over the years because I've learned more about it. But my love, I would say it has shifted, and we're going to get into it from time to time, but I would say with all the lessons and ups and downs, has just become greater and greater. And obviously the 10,000 hours, investing 10,000 hours, but we'll bring it back a little bit. So music is the dream that I was like, yeah, let's fucking do this. And still is my dream is doing this. I am in the doing of it. So that was my initial action, I would say. Yeah, fuck it, I'm going to do this. And as I was saying, I never anticipated what it was going to teach me. So just like football, when I started doing music, I wrote out exactly what I was going to do, by what age, and a lot of it was trying to mirror artists that had artists that had previously come before me, and trying to mirror their journey. And I quickly learned that one of the biggest things with chasing a dream is you can't mirror anyone's journey, because your journey is so unique and it's so different to anybody. It doesn't matter if they're doing the same thing. Your journey is so diverse and so different and so unique to you. And that's something that I really had to learn over time, because the way I kind of see it now with full confidence in my craft is people who take a liking to my music or may become fans of my music and the podcast. I'm sure there's similarities that they would like that I have done, or maybe one or two. I'm not saying there's tons, but I'm quite confident that I'm beginning to lead a life and live a life that, yes, there would be people do take inspiration from it and would like to do certain things the way I do. And that is the same way I would have looked at my favorite artists. But the difference is you learn to take inspiration from your favorite or people that may inspire you. Like people inspire me every day. And I learned that inspiration there's a difference between inspiration and copying, like imitation. And that's something big that I had to learn, that you can't imitate. At the initial steps with the creativity part, you can try, and that's very important because you're learning different things. But when it comes to the overall path and journey, nobody, you're not going to be able to copy it. And I guess give an example of that is favorite artists of mine will be dropping mixtapes. So I wanted to drop a mixtape. A certain artist, like someone like Mac, I was looking at Mac, I was like, oh, Mac Miller blew up at this point, then I gotta blow up at this point. Now, if I was actually taking action and had a good head on my shoulders at the time, then that wouldn't have been that detrimental, I guess, if I actually did. But the problem was that I wasn't investing the needed and required time, effort, energy to accomplish what many artists were accomplishing at a younger age, or that 17, 18, 19 that Mac would have blown up at, is something that I wanted to copy, but I wasn't investing the same love and passion that Mac would have been at that time, and resources like money and stuff. It all plays into it. So anyhow, learning not to try to copy one's journey is probably a cornerstone of the dream, and being open to your journey and what it's going to teach you. So example, doing a thing called Team Backpack, which I did when I was 17, which involved going to America and LA, isn't something that was in anyone else's story. Called Martin Ocean, or my name at the time, 220. So, while yeah, of course, many rappers did this, all my favorite rappers didn't do this. This was unique to my journey, and all of a sudden, I was starting to get more clarity on everything is unique to my journey, because there's no one like me. There's no one where I'm from. There's no one, just as knowing you. If you're listening to this, as knowing no one like you. So, going to America when I was 17 was one of I'm not going to say highest points of the journey, because it wasn't, because it's been so much more higher. It was one of the purest, I would say. It was very pure. Me and my mother we flew out from Dublin, went to LA, Los Angeles. I was only 17 at the time. And as you can imagine, a 17-year-old from Sligo, Ireland, who grew up on a farm, it was quite a crazy thing going out to Los Angeles. And we were in Hollywood. We stayed the night, should I say. We stayed 7 nights right in the center of Hollywood. And it was so close to the Paramount Studios. So we were in Airbnb. I think it was only like $30, about $30 a night, which was quite affordable. Had to be affordable. We were on a budget. And we're on a budget now. But I guess the comedy of Hollywood is that everything is right beside each other. And you have $1 million studio, and then you have a house you could pay on Airbnb $30 a night. And it was so close, the Paramount Studios, I could get a rock and just fire it, and it literally hit it. Like, it was so close. Like, so we were in a little Airbnb in Hollywood, and wowzers, what a trip that was. Some incredible highs, some absolute incredible highs. Learning, I ended up not getting through. I ended up getting top 50, but I'll tell a nice story just because it's a nice story. Who's ready for some storytelling? So, was in LA, didn't make it through the rounds or whatever, got like top 50. And a rapper called Joel Ortiz was due to perform in, like, if I was to break it down to you, it's in LA, it's in like a big warehouse, it's like 300 or 400 rappers. And he was due to perform. He gets on stage, he's performing, it's sick. I'm right up the front. The stage is like, it's only like, it's jumpable. It's so small. The stage is like really small. It's like a one brick up almost, like it's jumpable. You could get on top of it. Quite easy. Stand on top of it. So anyhow, he's performing and he stops his set and he looks out into the crowd and he says, who in here's a performer? Who's a rapper? And of course everyone's rappers. There's like 400 rappers in the fucking place. So anyhow, everyone puts up their hand. He's like, right, I'm going to get some rappers on stage. So he closes his eyes and picks randomly, I guess, like maybe 4 or 5 rappers. Anyhow, I didn't get picked. And I was like down in the dumps. And this is where grabbing opportunity and learning why not comes into chasing the dream. I seen an opportunity. I was like, wait, I could just hop on stage here. And worst case scenario, like they just tell me to go get off or push me down. But like, he doesn't know who he picked, so I could literally just get on stage. So I thought to myself, I did about 5 seconds of thinking, should I do it or not? And said, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Hopped on stage. Gerald Ortiz, shout out Gerald Ortiz, formerly of Slaughterhouse, formerly of Shady Records, gives me the mic. I hit the verse. It's an alright reaction, I'm not going to lie. It wasn't the best verse. It was a verse off a song called Dreams of Dedication I had at the time. And it was just the adrenaline just pumping. So learning why not and just going for it is probably one of the things about the dream that was an example of. It was just, why not let me go for it? What's the worst that can happen? And that's kind of the mentality that you kind of need to have when chasing the dream. And I'm very, very blessed. I'm very, very blessed because I started chasing something and I dealt with that initial kind of bad feedback and whatnot and years of learning the craft at the start. So I kind of dealt with people's opinions when I was really young and developed like to hit them off and just keep focused on my path. But saying that, while that was a high maybe of my journey, I guess trying to put my journey into like like a 30-minute or 40-minute podcast. A low, which was very hard to deal with, was one time I dropped a song. The song was called Created, and I dropped it on this YouTube channel and also a Facebook called Irish Rap Movement. Shout out Paddy Galloway, doing huge things, absolute legendary style. Shout out Paddy Galloway, doing great things in YouTube at the moment, has a YouTube business, just doing incredible stuff with YouTube. Look him up if you want to learn more. Shout out Paddy. So Paddy was doing Irish Rap Movement at the time, and he had a Facebook page as well as a YouTube page. Dope. Incredible. So I got my video, shot the video actually. Oh man, looking back, it's not too bad to look back on, but if you want to look it up, just look up 220 Created. I shot it, first of all, my dress sense wasn't the best. My hair wasn't too bad. I kind of like my short hair, because I'll be going back to my short hair at some point. So at some point, yeah, I think I'm just going to shave it off at some point. But here, look, until we get there. Anyhow, where were we on the podcast? Yes, so Created. I dropped a song called Created. And wowzers, damn, what a throwback. So, had like this Boohoo outfit. I had like a hoodie. Where did I get that? Did I get the hoodie in Boohoo? I think I got the hoodie in Boohoo. Tried the trousers in Boohoo anyways. I probably got the whole outfit. No, I got the hoodie on M&M Direct. Shout out M&M Direct. It's still a grand website actually. You get nice shoes on there. So anyhow, that was my outfit. A beige M&M Direct hoodie, some black Boohoo shoes, and some questionable Boohoo trousers. They were like grey or whatever. And I shot the video with a guy called Ovia, who's actually an incredibly skilled, humble, and very sharp individual. Shout out Ovia. And we shot it in UCD of all places. It's because the only place I knew in Dublin. Shot it in UCD. So I shot it in UCD. It was like a dance kind of song, dance rapping or whatever. And released it. I'm going to say, was it June time? I'm going to say June, July, May 29th, I'm guessing. That's my guess right there. Anyone can go and check that if you want. So anyhow, I shot that video, released it in May, put it on the YouTube, good response on the YouTube, okay, put it on the Facebook. Oh, wowzers. Damn, bruh. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Posted this video. It was on the Facebook Irish Rap Movement, and my God, the comment section came for me. I mean, an onslaught, slaughtering, really bad comment section. And the comments were just trying to dismantle everything I did, the way I looked, the way I sounded, the way I dressed, the type of song, everything, the style of rapping, everything, like me as a person. And they just like talk about people with some bad problems going on in their life. My God. As I say, you need some healing in your subconscious. But anyhow, really bad comment section. And man, it fucking ripped me apart. There was about, I'm going to say like 300 comments, maybe about 200-300 comments of just onslaught. Like it was so fucking, it was really tough at the time. It really was. And I was working in a supermarket at the time. And I was stocking shelves one time and I wasn't feeling the best. And one of the managers, who was really nice, tapped me on the shoulder. Shout out Steve, man. Hey, shout out Steve. What a fucking legend. What a legend. Shout out Steve, man. I hope you're doing well. Great golf for Steve. Anyhow, shout out Steve. He tapped me on the shoulder. Lovely guy. And he was like, Martin, I seen the comment section on Facebook. Just wondering, are you all right? Now, first of all, what a lovely gesture to see that and ask him, am I genuinely okay? What a great guy. Really great guy. And so he asked me, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, man, it's part of it. Like, it's okay. Like, it's grand. Like, it's not that bad. Like, I'll get over it. But really, it was really tough. So that happened. But are you ready for this? That happened. But while that was really negative, it also pushed it out. and this is something really important when you're chasing a dream too, the more hate you get, right? If you're actually confident in your craft and you know you're doing something good, hate is not necessarily a bad thing. It's tough to deal with. It can be tough to manage. It can be tough to juggle them emotions and remain level-headed and calm and zen through that. Terminator. Boy, what you talking about, Tornado. So it can be hard to manage through that, but a couple people commented and tagged a radio director who contacted me and then put me in for this competition. I ended up doing well in the competition. Opportunities came from that. And I got tons of opportunities from that from that video, putting that out. And while it came with all this heavy burden of all these people just saying all these nasty and harsh things to me, it also came with opportunity. Again, another lesson. There's always opportunity. Always opportunity. Even amongst chaos or even failure, there's always opportunity. So with that, now I spoke about previously how I had booed off stage. I thought that was the worst. But to be honest, this comment section was probably the worst. But what that did was kind of rip away any insecurity after that. Like any insecurity, any worry. Because once you kind of walk that path and are people throwing stones, arrows are trying to shoot you down, again, it builds muscle. So with that confidence now, after I got over that, and it did take me a week or two. That's a lie. It took me about a month. It took me a month to 6 weeks, I would say. Because it was subconsciously affecting me from putting out music. Because the fear of like that happening again kind of low-key dripped into me. And I no longer felt like I was at the steering wheel, but more fear and worry were at the steering wheel kind of controlling me. So that definitely did hurt me for about 4 to 6 weeks, maybe even 2 months after that. But I want to stress it again. What happened because of that was just this phenomenal power of not caring anymore and just, again, full steam ahead. And that is so important when it comes to the dream. Like, there's going to be so many people and so many inadequate opinions. I can't stress it enough. That will try and remove every bit of love, passion, drive, happiness that you are finding within this dream. Like, guys, when people are coming for you, when people are pointing you out and they're making rude, nasty comments, it's a pure reflection of the inside of them. They're not doing something that they would like to do. They are hurting in some way. There is something poking down in them, not even poking, stabbing them every day. And they know it. They feel it when they wake up and they feel it when they go to sleep. And they want to funnel that out. And when they see someone trying to do something that's different in what they love, they will use you to try funnel that out, and they will use you as a target. And that's just the raw truth of it, because I have dealt with so many people throughout like this path, and it's all been meaningless because it's not their path. Like, it's not their life. Like, they don't see the joy it really brings you in your heart when you're all alone and the world just shuts off and you're there by yourself for hours on end and the clock doesn't even seem like it exists. They don't see the time invested of the 10,000 hours, 12,000 hours that you put and you sacrificed everything else. They don't see the greater vision. They can only see what's right in front of them. And that's fair. People can only judge what's right in front of them. But at the same time, you gotta have a bigger vision to see that someone is not the person they are now is not the person they're going to be with a dream 5 years from now. And what I mean by all that is I'm not the person I was 5 years ago because of this dream, because of the many chapters, the many locks, the many doors it unlocked, just limitless. And I'll kind of stream that into another section of chasing the dream. So my advice would be, when you do receive hate, you do receive unwanted criticism, not even unwanted criticism with no evidence, with no strong work or thought put behind it. Because criticism, it is important because you want to learn and get better, but there's a difference between criticism and just trying to hurt somebody. So just be very careful and be very wary of who you take criticism from and who you take advice from. That's two things. Who you take advice from and who you take criticism from are massive, because you may take advice from someone who's never been in your shoes or never walked the similar path and doesn't really know what they're speaking about, the same as you may take criticism from someone who doesn't really know what they're speaking about. So when you meet individuals who will try remove that gust or try bring you down, they're not trying to help you, they're not trying to give you some good words of wisdom, they're trying to bring you down or push them behind themselves. It's remain grounded and remain aware of what's actually happening. And what I mean by that is it's nothing to do with your craft, it's all to do with the person that is trying to put like a negative energy towards you. And to do that, it takes practice. And by practice, I mean it takes practice remaining calm, or being one with yourself, being grounded, having that knowledge and just being totally aware of what's happening. And when you're totally aware of what's happening, you remove any of that negative emotion you may feel, or that pain in your tummy when someone hurts you with words, or God forbid with the old 1-2 uniflus. So yeah, that's something I learned when it comes to dealing with people. And now I still get hate. Like, I'm sure, like, I still get hate. Even on TikTok, when I was posting quite consistently, I was getting like, it wasn't too bad, but then I get like a string of comments telling me that I should kill myself or something, which is horrible. But you don't hold the weight to it, because while the words are still horrible and you have to be very careful with them, statements against you, you remain level-headed, you remain calm, you see it for what it is, and you keep moving. And you do all that when you're dealing with these things in the space of a second. Now, is that enough for your brain, your subconscious, your whole entire mental to deal with it? Probably not, because things do slide in, and that kind of goes into then just taking care of yourself in general. But you don't have time to deal with negative comments. Like, once you're in the process, in the stream of building something, of constructing an empire, should I say, you don't have time to deal with them type of things. And that's what I've kind of learned. Me growing more as a person has directly influenced how I deal with a negative comment or a negative person. So that's another aspect of chasing the dream, I guess. Yeah, there's so many ups and downs at the end of the day of doing something you love. But as I said, the highs of doing something you love. And look, you're not going to go the full way if you don't love what you are doing. Like, I have invested 10 years into music, and I feel like I haven't invested anything, if that makes sense. I feel like I only wrote my first thing yesterday. I don't feel the weight I feel the strength and I feel the power of doing 10 years and the knowledge, but I don't feel the aches and pains so much of the 10 years. Now, funny I say that, let's get into story time. I might put some effects on that. We'll see what we can do. Researcher, where you at? My researcher, where you at? Anyhow, so, underlying fact, you can't go the full way if you don't love what you're doing. The person that loves walking will walk further than the person that has a destination of walking. And what I mean by that is, go back to the episode with Patrick, it's enjoying the process. And you have to really love what you're doing. And to find out if you really love something, you'll find that out at the tough times. That tough time will present itself. And you'll find out if you love what you're doing or not. And if you have what it takes to keep doing what you love or not. And it's perfectly okay if it doesn't. I was chatting about failure before. It's perfectly okay to fail when you can grab that lesson, because you might start chasing a dream and it might not be the thing you actually love or you're supposed to do. But what you can learn from that is invaluable. And that's very important. Always be aware and always be open to learning your lessons, because there's a lesson in everything. And like most of us, sometimes I don't always see the lesson because either pride or ignorance gets in my way. So yeah, ignorance may get in the way, or dark times, or what, many things can get in the way. But at the end of the day, the tough times they teach you if you love something or you don't love something. So speaking about that now, up until I was on about like my love and passion for something, I don't feel the aches and pains. And then I actually do want to preface that with something. I do want to give a little section. Up until this year, I didn't feel aches and pains of chasing the dream. I really didn't. I had some tough times, had some great moments. Like, some of my best moments have been like messages, like people sending me beautiful messages and whatnot, and so fucking life changing. Some of the things that you receive because you just doing something you love and you put it out in the universe. So some incredible high moments, performing on stage. Wowzers, hearing your music on the radio for the first time is a great high moment. Performing in London, that was a fucking high moment. Was performing, and the girl I was performing, I forgot her lyrics, so I ended up freestyling. That was incredible. And like being able, because I fucking love freestyling, and being able to just like adapt and freestyle, that was incredible. So, oh my god, so many highs. Highs and highs and highs. A lot of my highs just come from creating too. Like I made this song called Bradford Interchange there during the summer, which, wowzers guys, wait till you hear that. That's fucking hell. Wow, it's 9 minutes of storytelling and genius. Yeah, so excited for that. But anyways, high moments. This last year, wow. Never felt the aches and pains more of chasing the dream than this year. And I kind of get into it. So I guess, because it's just life, my year started off quite turbulent. Like, it's turbulent, I guess, at the start of a year I could get, I guess. But so at the start of the year, right, we were living in Sitges, Spain, and I was out for dinner, out for a cheeky Indian with my boy Nate Sheridan. Shout out Nathan Sheridan, loves his Indians. Definitely check out that podcast if you haven't. Was out for Indian, and I got a phone call from my pops, and my uncle unfortunately had passed away. So that was a heavy thing. Now, I wasn't that close to my uncle, but it was definitely, it never happened to me before, getting a call out the blue like that. So that was definitely a mad thing. So that happened. Had to I hit the mic there. So that happened. In the middle of that too, we were moving house. We were trying to find a house in Spain. Also a couple of friends that some things happened and whatnot. So it was just it was a really turbulent time. And lost my train of thought, and we're back. So it was a really turbulent time, and I had to fly back to Ireland, the funeral and whatnot. I would have held a coffin and stuff. That too was my first time doing that. Flew back to Spain then within 3 days. Then about a week later we moved house, and yeah, it was just a lot was happening in my mind. And I already hadn't been doing music because my relationship with music was just at this kind of like crossroads, both creatively and where I seen everything going, and just the wear and tear. I guess actually, if I was about the best, the wear and tear of life really just dripped into my music, because all of a sudden I didn't have energy to record, which is, I went from making like 5 songs a week to not wanting to record, like, and this happened over the span of months. Just not having the energy, or like the desire was there. Sorry, no desire. Not having the discipline either to just sit down and do it, because you need that discipline too. I know creativity is something that just knocks on the door and you must answer when it knocks, be it what time or date. But also, you will not get where you want or accomplish your goals if you don't sit down, discipline, and just do something that you need to do. So, didn't have any discipline, no energy, and also my love. And there was even a point, which is quite a mad thing to think, but there was even a point I was contemplating quitting, which is such a mad concept in my mind, to think to try to quit something. Because quitting is many different definitions. Like, quitting is not just stopping something. Like, quitting can be you just stop putting as much energy into something, and all of a sudden your progress slows down dramatically. You still might be doing something, but you're not doing it with a goal, direction, or target. You're kind of like, You might be doing it, but you've kind of inside quit already, if that makes sense. And that's what like I've seen happen to many, many great artists, especially over the years, that no, they don't ever quit, but mentally they've quit and spiritually they're done with it. Like, so I had a point, and I remember saying to Josh and Finn wasn't having any of it as always. Shout out to Top Beam Master. But there was a point where I was like, damn, maybe I like shouldn't do this anymore. Which was, fuck me, it was tough. It was really, really tough, because at the end of the day, music represents so many different things for me. It represents love, passion, storytelling, all that chaotic energy just being released. I'm a person who keeps quite level-headed and quite at one with themselves. But music, if you listen to some of the music that is coming, I haven't released so much music that, like, I suppose Best Friend has a bit of that chaotic energy where you can feel it through the music, and even some of the anger, like, is released, and that's released in other areas of my life, like jogging and gymming and stuff. But being able to put into words, or like hit that rah, you know, that this is so funny. This is so funny hearing you listen to this now. It's just me going gas, absolutely hilarious. So anyhow, it represents so much to me. It represents who I am as a person, because it's because of music that I am the way I am. We'll get back to that in a second, but I had contemplated quitting in January time, February or Christmas, January, and because I had knew for the first time in my life, I had new opportunities that were presenting themselves for like work and stuff with Excel, and I just didn't have a vision anymore. I was like, life had bruised and battered me a little bit, and I didn't have a, you know, when you hear someone say life got in the way, for the first time in my life, I like let life get in the way, and something just about life getting in the way, which is very important. Life will throw you so many what I like to call curvy worvies. Guys, this is my vocabulary. I invented it. Thank you. I will be putting it somewhere to sell. I have to pattern these words. Can you do that? Can you pattern the word? You can copyright a word. So anyways, I almost let life get in the way. And that's a bananas thing to say. I almost let life get in the way. And I think what happens is that happens to a lot of people. And you hear that quote quite... pardon me. You hear that quote a lot. I let life get in the way. Just life got in the way. And I think there is a lot of truth and merit in that. Most definitely, because people do get in some like tough situations. But I also think that you figure it out if the love there is there. If that undenying love for what you do is there, you just figure it out. And anyone who gets in the position of success, and you look at them, is a common theme. You just find a way to figure it out. You puzzle. It's a puzzle. Like chasing a dream is a puzzle. There's like no other two ways about it. You're constantly trying to fit these pieces. Sometimes you got a big ass piece you're trying to fit, and sometimes it's bigger than the puzzle, and you're like, how you keep pushing it in, right? And then you realize, step back, and it's like, wrong puzzle. Gotta switch around the puzzle there. What I mean by that, it's an analogy. Like it really is a puzzle, because especially with music too, is that everyone's journey in music, I was speaking about journeys, everyone's journey in music is so different. I'll give you an example, like someone like Jelly Roll. Let's take Jelly Roll versus Taylor Swift. So let's say Jelly Roll and Taylor Swift are playing at a festival. Shout out Jelly Roll if you know him. He's a great rapper / country artist. Shout out Taylor Swift, where I'm all Swifties up. What a fan base, am I right? What a fan base. I'm right. It's a crazy fan base. In a good way. Swifties don't come for me. Anyhow, take Jelly Roll and Taylor Swift. If they were on a festival lineup, right? Both on the same stage. Let's even say they're both like one's 7 o'clock, one's 5 o'clock. Both get massive crowds. Both extremely successful artists. You look at them and you're like, incredible. I'd love to be like that. I'd love to be like both of them. Well, to get there, guys, we couldn't even fathom how different their paths have been. Like Jelly Roll from Taylor going from country music, all the stuff with the record labels, to re-releasing music and putting it out in that Swifties empire she's built, to Jelly Roll being in prison and making it out of prison, turning his whole life around, being a rapper, finding country music, becoming one of the biggest country musics out right now, artists right now. They're just the paths to get to this, like, I'm not going to say same levels of success, but if you get me that same stage, are just dramatically different. They're so different. So what I mean by when you're chasing a dream is you're the whole time trying to fit pieces into a puzzle. And that can get so frustrating. And that's where I think a lot of frustration gets in of you're trying to fit these puzzles, and then I'm very thankful it doesn't happen to me. I will be honest, I'm like in ruts. I definitely like would look at someone and I'm like, fuck's sake, why are they doing it? I'm like, why are they there and I'm not? But then you check yourself. But pardon me, when you're trying to fit a piece into a puzzle so many times, and then someone comes around and just fits theirs perfectly, and they get like I don't know, like an award, or a video goes viral, or they get something that you wanted to accomplish, and you're sitting there, you're like, man, I've been trying to fit this puzzle so much, why isn't it going in? And there is so much frustration builds up, and sometimes anger can build up, and that negative emotion inside your belly. And it's very important when you're on the path of chasing a dream that you take a breath in, breath out, step back, maybe talk to like-minded people, conversate, educate yourself further, figure out maybe it's a different type of piece for the puzzle, maybe you need to do this, maybe you have to go find a different piece, and then kind of look out, zoom out for a second, and then go again. And that's so essential, pivotal, would really say pivotal. And that's like kind of like what I'd be proud of myself, is when I see something doesn't fit, instead of getting frustrated. Now, I would never got like real terribly frustrated. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. Should I say? There's going to be so many mistakes I'm going to have to fix on this fucking podcast. Anyhow, not letting the frustration, number one, become bitterness in you, and number two, detour you from chasing your dream. Because seeing other people win, you can be happy for them and you can learn from them, as I said about learning lessons. So that's another element of chasing the dream. That's just very important. And being open. So sorry, let me go back to January, when I thought about quitting. So I had all this different like opportunities coming through the door, and I was thinking of quitting basically because of the wear and tear of life, like from fucking money to like friends to like my own like issues or whatever, and then hadn't written in a couple months. Like I was like, it was just tough. It was really, really tough. So from January to, I'd say most of this year, man, if I'm honest, like most of this year has been, sometimes I would even tough, but sometimes I would even use the word battle with the beautiful craft and my beautiful relationship. And the way I was explaining it was funny. When I was chatting to one of my cousins, it was like, imagine you've been in this wonderful roller coaster of a relationship for over 10 years, and now you're getting doubts, and you've never got doubts before, and you're looking at your dream as a person, and you're looking at the person, you're like, the dream, let's say, and you're looking at the dream, you're like, I don't know if I have the same feelings about you anymore. Like, I don't know if there's just too much stuff getting in the way right now, what's happening. That's the best way I could describe it. Now, how did I deal with that? Wow, how did I deal with that? I would probably say I'm still kind of dealing with that. How I dealt with that is I just took it back to basics of my dream. Why did I start music in the first place? Was it to sell out fucking 10,000 people? Was it to make a certain amount of money? Was it to get a BMW i8 or Lambo? Yes it was. And that's I know they're all things that I would have written on my wall at different times or whatnot. Now, to get a BMW i8 and to sell out 3,000 to 4,000 people is still the dream and is in process. But anyhow, why did I actually start doing it in the first place? Because I fucking love rapping. I love bars. I love writing. I love hip-hop. I love hip-hop with a fucking passion, man. I love it so much. I know so much about it. I've studied it so much. Is the reason why I started doing it. So I went back to basics because it wasn't even the craft that I didn't have the energy for more. It was the whole thing of success and achieving and succeeding and not hitting it over and over again. Like the feeling of trying to hit a target or hit a goal and you just keep missing every time. And you keep asking, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I've tried this. It can get to you, and it did get to me. So I went back to the basics, and I went back to the basics of writing, just writing and making music and falling in love with making music again, and falling in love with the dream. And I spoke about this with my therapist. We'll call him Michael. Michael's not his name, but shout out Michael if he's listening. We have to give him a different name because that would be bad if I shouted out my therapist. Michael, he every couple of weeks he would like kind of give him the breakdown or whatever, and he'll like, and what about music? You do music, and I'll be like, and we chatted about it so many times about doing it, and I was like, Michael, I don't want to talk about it, which is the biggest like, let's talk about it in therapy. Like if you say I don't want to talk about it, that's like in therapy to if you say don't want to talk about it in therapy talk, that's yes, we must talk about it. So he was breaking it down like, why do you think? And I was just so sick of talking about taking more action again with music and whatnot. Just knowing what to do and not doing it. But over the last couple of weeks and couple of months, I've got back to doing just the simplicity of writing and making music. And I've made some of my best music. I was speaking about the song Bradford Interchange. What a song, man. What a song. I'll give you a little glimpse into Bradford Interchange now. Yeah, I'll give a little glimpse into Bradford Interchange in just 1 second. But going back to the basics with the dream of just writing, removing all them negative emotions, opinions about all these goals, these targets, these achievements, I didn't do this, and bringing it back to the basics of just writing music, doing what I love. And that's what I did and have been doing, and I can feel the progress and I can feel the love getting greater and greater within inside me. So that's what I did, took it back to basics. Now, we touch on that? Yeah, we'll touch on two things more. I'll check how I'm time. This has been a very free-flowing podcast that I hope makes sense when you hear it. So anyhow, I was speaking about getting in love, taking the steps to get back into my craft with music and the love and the passion. And with doing that, I ended up writing one of my greatest songs I've ever written in my life. And essentially, I'll give you a backdrop. The backdrop was I was in Bradford, visiting family, and long story short, found this girl. She was unconscious, had a head injury, and the song just revolves around the chaos, energy, and everything that happened in trying to help this girl. It's quite a roller coaster. I wrote it in 3 sections. It's 9 minutes long, and it's by far the greatest thing I've ever made, and I'm making, because it's just not finished yet. In the process of finishing it. So, lesson there is nearly quitting music to writing and making one of the best pieces of music I've ever made in my life is quite a juxtaposition, quite a mad thing when I think about it, like two different sides of the spectrum of the seesaw, I would say. So that was quite a life-changing moment, writing something like that. When I was writing the song Bradford Interchange, it just wrote itself. So I'm quite excited for everyone. I won't speak more about it. I'm quite excited for everyone to hear that. So we've gone through a lot. We've gone through the ups and downs. We've gone through what you need to do music. We've chatted about quitting music and getting back into the dream. Now, we chatted about people, dealing with people who might take you down. Now, I want to chat about chasing the dream if you're not what you feel like is your youth. If you're not, if you don't have the confidence, or you don't have what you think takes, you don't have what you think it takes to accomplish something, but you know deep down. So we spoke about it at the beginning of the podcast. Everyone having a dream, and maybe everyone doesn't vocalize or take action. Life is so short, let's just step into it here now. Life is so short, right? Think back to when you were 10, boom. Think back now, you're 15, boom. You're 18, wow, you're 18, you're an adult, boom. You're 20, shit, I'm in my 20s, boom. You're 25, oh wow, boom. You're 30, boom. You're 60, boom. You're 80, boom. I'm not an idiot, but I'm grateful to be in my 20s. But what I'm getting at with that is life is like a train, and I seen Sylvester Stallone speak about that. 1 second you're at a certain age, and then you literally blink, and 10 years, 5 years, 3 years has passed, and you're like, wow, where did that time go? if you have a dream and it's sitting down there, you gotta take the action. You deserve it. You really do deserve to take that action and just run after it. Because when you're on your deathbed, when you're 70, 80, whatnot, you don't want to sit there. You don't want to be the person with the ghosts of regret. You don't want to be the person with the ghosts of regret. You really don't. So my greatest advice, if you have a dream, no matter what, is it big or small, you simply write down in your notepad or your phone what it is. So say you have a dream, right? And you want to take action on it. A vision board. Make a vision board. It's one of the best things you could possibly make. Make a vision board with the person you want to be, the person who would accomplish these things, the person that in your mind you can be that's doing this dream. So what does the person look like? How do they dress? How do they sound? Make a vision board. I can't read the sounds. Make a vision board of how the type of clothes you're wearing, the actions you're doing. If it's golfing, let's take golf. It's an easy example. The shoes the golf is wearing, the golf clubs, put it on if you're a makeup artist, successful makeup artist that inspires you, put it on your wall. Then that's one step you can make, vision board. Number 2, let's say if it's makeup artist, what type of makeup style would you like to do? Research it, just look into it. Number 2, 3, 4, just one step at a time, one step at a time. And then when you do want to put it out there, or you want to put it out into the universe, hold in your heart. As soon as your brain starts thinking of all the negative things and negative things people might say or what might happen, hold in your heart and remember, boom, this is what I want to do. Life is short. This is my life, not your life. And holding that belief and that fact, because it is a fact, holding that idea and that fact in your heart and that like mindset, and trust me, it'll be all okay. Everything will fall into place eventually. And that's exactly what like I've done over and over, and I've tried to do and tried to tell people, and if I can, always try to give the best advice from the ups and downs of what I've learned. And you learn so much from the dream. Like, I would have never met the friends I have now if it wasn't for my dream. I would have never had the empathy I have now if it wasn't for my dream. I would have never had the kindness, the love in my heart. When I speak about like one of my heroes, Mr. Malcolm McCormick, aka Mac Miller from Point Breeze, Pittsburgh. I don't speak about it a lot, but Mac inspired me, of course, 1, musically, but 2, that it was okay to be kind. It was okay to be kind. It's a great thing to be kind. Kindness is one of the most sweet, wholesome, and beautiful, and sometimes rare things that we can do as humans. Just be kind to people. So I've learned so much, and I'm a product of my dream. I'm a product of chasing my dream, and that makes me smile. And yes, there was a lot of lows, but them lows are nothing when you come to the highs. And I want to leave it on one last thing. I want to give one thing that happened. Many things have happened because of my dream, but probably one of my sweetest memories is in LA, 2015. What a beautiful time. It was May. We flew over from Dublin to Los Angeles. I think we flew over from Dublin to Los Angeles. Did we? Yeah. It was May 2015. We flew over from Dublin to Los Angeles. Had an incredible week. One of the days we go to Venice Beach. Me and my mother go to Venice Beach. Wowzers, what a time. I go off kind of gallivanting, come back. She was having lunch, come back, and she's not there. We're in Venice Beach at this cafe, and I was like, oh my, where are you going? I'm ringing her, she won't answer. And I remember vividly, one of the sweetest memories I'll ever have. I remember vividly going out on the beach, and I was like, oh, she's probably gone down the water. Hope she's all right. God, man, hope she's all good. And then as I'm walking across Venice Beach to the water, because it's a nice distance from where the shops are to the water, I see this silhouette in the sun in the distance, and I just knew it was Mai, and I just ran over and gave her a hug, and it was one of the sweetest memories of my life ever. So I say all that to say this: while I'm yet to accomplish what I set out to do with music, I've accomplished so much already that I know that everything I want to happen will happen. And being patient with myself, knowing what I need to do and how I need to do it, and knowing that I will do it is how I feel right now about the dream. So yeah, that wraps up episode 6 of Chasing a Dream. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed this episode. As I said, this is our first episode with video. We'll see how that goes. Okay, alrighty then. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you want to give it a follow on Spotify and the streaming services, plus that little star, the little 5 stars, you know, if you want to give it a 5 stars, that'd be really grateful. I'd be really grateful for that. Really hope you enjoyed the podcast. Next episode will be 7. I have a cool guest coming on for episode 7, so I'm very excited for that. And yeah, guys, if you have a dream, fuck it, go do it, because I believe in you. I really do. So anyhow, I'm going to catch you on the Dolphin, as I say. Guys, this has been the Ocean Flight 111, heading straight to full potential with 0 delays. And this has been another episode of One Step at a Time. Have a lovely day. God bless.
Yeah, it goes late nights on the road. Yeah, that's just how it goes. Yeah, that's just how it goes these days. I'ma try my best to make this flight, but if I don't wake up tomorrow, then the sun will still be. Yeah, it goes late nights.